This is the demo for the version 31 scheduling updates. So on the student side of things, if a course does not have a schedule, then we're not going to have that scheduling tab in the sidebar, and we're going to get rid of all communication that says like not yet scheduled, just to refrain from confusion. Besides that, the upcoming agenda is going to populate by order of items in the course. So it would show like the first 6 items in the curriculum. Once a student completes that, go to the next 6 items. If an instructor does not like that, they can hide the upcoming agenda and the page will adjust with the layout here, just hiding that agenda. Now, if we go to the scheduling tool, first of all schedule tools are now going to be under one link called Scheduling and Assessment Settings in the Manage page, where that scheduling link is now, but we have this new tabular interface so that I can see how everything is affected when I change each scheduling setting. Here we also have new directions added, and I'm going to set my schedule. When I set my schedule, I can kind of set the default timeline, what days are my course going to consider. I can identify any breaks. So say I have a spring break or winter break, I can kind of add that in here and the schedule should consider that and not schedule anything then. And then lastly, I can set a default layout where I can either not set any assignment due dates right now, or I could set assignment due dates all to the end of each section. So like each content section over here. Okay, so now I set my schedule, and you can also see there's some updates to the table here, like adding and alternating color rows, and then also color coordinating a content section to the block. We also now have a search bar and some different tools like expanding all. That would then expand all of the sections. That's just my lack of prototyping that this didn't expand, but some other things in here like adding different drop-down icons, numbering the content sections, having a hover state where it would show that you can kind of manipulate this bar. Also having, let's see, the ability, like I said, to enable the agenda or to change that. And then you should also, have a tooltip telling you that this means, the agenda is visible to students. I would be able to clear the schedule like I am now, but it's just a feature on this toolbar. I can reset the schedule. Another thing I can do, so yeah, when I clear the schedule, I would get a message. I can remove content from the schedule by right-clicking and hitting remove item from schedule. So this would not remove it from the entire course, just the schedule. And then here's what I was trying to get to. I could preview the agenda or preview the schedule based on what I've made here. So if I hit preview agenda, it's going to take me into the agenda and I can see like, oh, this is what it's looking like for students. And that could help me with my decision if I want to have the agenda visible or not. And then I can also preview the schedule and it'll just take me to the instructor, like student preview of the schedule. So that is all for that scheduler tool. And like I said, if I disable the agenda, it's going to do that. So now if we go to the assessment settings, some updates here. Same thing, we're going to add some directions and adding in, hey, like your actions here will affect the course schedule. And now kind of making this a select and edit type interface. So also adding search, adding the capability to select all, and adding the ability to kind of drag this to expand the table for more room. But by the select all capabilities, let me see here. So it'll tell me, I have 3 assessments selected, and let's say I want to make a change to the due date of all these, or let's say available date for my example I have here. of these three selected assessments, I can now do that, and it should affect all three of these. So same thing, like if I wanted to bulk apply different things, I would just select all of it and change one item settings, and that should work for everything. And now if we go to the student exceptions, so, updating the styling to match those other tables as well, adding a search, which I think was already there, but adding a select all and delete to the toolbar, like making it expandable. And then when I add a new exception, so still keeping it where we have to have a higher level, like this is the assessment I want to have an exception for, but I can add and I can select multiple students now. I could select all of them. That's just showing there. And whenever I do make a change, it will be a different color. So I can see that I have changed that from the original assessment settings, which is also something new. This will now automatically populate with what those settings were. So you don't have to go in and change every single thing. You can just change what you wanted to. And another thing here is that you can bulk apply an exception. You can only do that to like one student. So I can select me, Jessica Fortunato, and I could bulk apply this row, this exception to either all assessments, or I could do select assessments. Then it's gonna kind of confirm with me, okay, that means that you're applying all of this, and I can go continue. I can select the assessments I want that applied to, and that should work like that. Then lastly, we have advanced gating. So right now, I believe that this isn't available at a course section level. So first step is making this available, then adding it into this tabular view. Once again, having some directions, and then just rewording how that page originally was and making it more into a sentence, like in order to access this, students must then do this to the following resource. And the other thing here is allowing to select multiple resources, which we could not do before. Now, there are minor changes that I might not have mentioned in this demo, but if you have any questions, please just direct them to me, Jessica Fortunato. Thanks.